Attendees at the 2024 Oscars wore red pins to show support for Artists for Ceasefire, a collective advocating for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas conflict and the delivery of humanitarian aid to civilians in Gaza. The red pins symbolize solidarity with the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Israel and Palestine, aiming to bring attention to the devastating loss of lives and horrors in the region. Celebrities like Billie Eilish, Ava DuVernay, Rami Youssef, Mark Ruffalo, and others wore these pins as a universal message calling for peace, justice, and an end to violence, particularly emphasizing the protection of children from the impacts of war. Artists for Ceasefire and their mission. Artists for Ceasefire is a collective of artists and advocates who have united to address the humanitarian crisis in Israel and Palestine, particularly advocating for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in the region. The group emphasizes the urgent need for humanitarian aid to reach civilians in Gaza and calls for the release of hostages, highlighting the devastating loss of lives and unfolding horrors in the area. Their mission involves urging U.S. President Joe Biden and his administration to prioritize de-escalation and ceasefire in Gaza and Israel to prevent further loss of life, especially focusing on protecting children who make up half of Gaza's population. Artists for Ceasefire believes that international law must prevail, emphasizing the moral imperative of saving lives and promoting lasting justice for the people of Palestine. The red pins worn by celebrities like Billie Eilish, Mark Ruffalo, Rami Youssef, and others symbolize solidarity with this cause, aiming to amplify the message of peace, justice, and an end to violence in the region. Has this happened before? Yes, this is not the first time that celebrities have used award shows as a platform to raise awareness about political and social issues. In 2023, artists wore blue ribbons at the Academy Awards to support refugees, and in 2018, Frances McDormand spoke out about women's equity in Hollywood during the #MeToo movement. The red pins worn by celebrities like Billie Eilish, Mark Ruffalo, and Ava DuVernay at the 2024 Oscars are part of a trend where celebrities unite to bring attention to important causes through their visibility at high-profile events. The current status of Artists for Ceasefire's work in Gaza involves a strong advocacy for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in the region, emphasizing the urgent need for humanitarian aid to reach civilians in Gaza. The group has urged U.S. President Joe Biden and his administration to prioritize de-escalation and ceasefire in Gaza and Israel to prevent further loss of life, especially focusing on protecting children who make up half of Gaza's population. The pins symbolize collective support for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, the release of hostages, and the urgent delivery of humanitarian aid to civilians in Gaza. The ongoing efforts by Artists for Ceasefire aim to bring attention to the devastating situation in Gaza and advocate for peace, justice, and an end to violence in the region.